Shalom, 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 shalom. As always, first I want to give all the praises and the glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and to His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Double honors to our apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, and shalom to the hopefully elect brothers and sisters of the house of Israel, the true children of Israel, the true Hebrew Israelites. Praises and glory to the hopefully elect. Many are called, few are chosen. So, as you can see from the title, small hat government, because you should know who we're talking about. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. But ye are forgers of lies, and ye are all physicians of no value. That's from the book of Job, chapter 13, verse 4. I'm going to play this interview here that took place over the weekend. I think it was yesterday it took place, or the day before. But Friday or Saturday it took place. I think it was Friday. Friday took place, this interview, on Channel 4 News, which is a British news channel, between the this is the Israeli government spokesman to your right on the screen, the Edomite to the right, and the guy to the left. He is the Channel 4 News broadcaster, news journalist. Now, I want you to hear the questions he's going to put to this devil, because you know these people are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. They are the head tribe, the tribe of Amalek. I want to see the questions he's going to put to him, and listen to what he has to say. Listen to the answers of this demon. And it just makes me think of Psalm 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And this is what you're going to see here, all right? In response to the questions that he's going to ask, you're going to see the wicked that's been estranged from the womb. And you're going to see the lies that he speaks, because they are being raised and trained to speak these lies anytime they're dealing with the general public. Just so you know, this is how these devils are raised. So without further ado, let's go straight into this, right?
Well, I mean, you're still being a bit vague about who you mean precisely, but I mean, why are you attacking the Syrian Navy, for example? There's no question of naval warships being in the hands of ISIS. You know, that is precisely the kind of attack that the UN means when it says you are destabilizing this very fragile situation.
Again, in London, you have the luxury to wait and see what happens. We simply don't have that luxury here in Israel. These are jihadists. Okay, so Israel.
No, but why are you attacking the Navy? There are no jihadists taking over the Navy.
So I'm not sure what you mean. If there is a jihadist regime taking control in Syria, or if Iran.
So you do mean to attack the new government here. So all you're saying about how exciting it is, you mean the government here, HTS. That's what you're trying to attack.
We're protecting ourselves against jihadis. The new government doesn't need chemical weapons. It doesn't need fighter jets right now. It needs to rebuild a life for the future of its own citizens. We want that to be a peaceful future on our northern border. We simply don't have the luxury. After the October the 7th massacres, these are jihadis which praised those massacres. They want to emulate them. Some of them do. So, you know, you in London can wait and see what happens. We here in Israel don't have that luxury. We will defend ourselves. We're taking these pieces off the chessboard.
I mean, I'm actually speaking to you from Damascus rather than London, but of course, a lot of people here will also say, well, who are you to talk about weapons of mass destruction or fearsome weapons, given the kinds of weapons you've been using on Palestinians in Gaza?
We've been engaged in a war against Hamas, not against Gazans. We've tried our hardest to get Gazans out of harm's way. We're close to finishing off Hamas. That's one of the reasons why Iran has been exposed. They are weakened, which is why the rebel groups have managed to take control in Syria. We hope this is a new beginning for Syria. We're desperate for good relations with our neighbors. But if that does not come to pass, then we must have ourselves protected. We cannot have jihadists on our border that seek to replay again the October 7th massacre. It won't happen again.
I mean, you know, bombing your neighbors is not the best way to find good relations with them, is it?
So, Krishnan, you're a little bit obsessed with Israel, if I may say so. We've made very, very clear what our intentions are.
Well, you're the Israeli spokesman. That's why I'm asking you about Israel's policies.
And I'm giving you our policy. Our policy is, number one, we want peaceful relations. Number two, our neighbors don't need chemical weapons. They simply don't need them.
David Benson, we must leave it there. Thank you very much indeed.
So as you can see, this devil, all right, when the spotlight is being put on these devils, right, everywhere they turn, the spotlight has been put on these devils. And like he just said, these devils have been bombing Gaza for the last 14 months. They've murdered over 50,000 women and children, and they've mutilated probably another 150,000, lost arms and legs and this and that. These devils right now have got their eyes set on Syria, because all parts of these lands are all part of the promised land, ultimately part of the promised land. These devils don't like when the spotlight is being put on them regarding their wickedness. So when he says to the reporter that he said to the reporter that the reporter's obsessed with Israel, it's not that he's obsessed with Israel, it's because everyone can see clearly the wickedness of this place that they call the state of Israel, that is occupied by a nation of people that go back to Esau, the Edomites, the Amalekites, and that are there murdering and massacring the Ishmaelites within the land, basically. Because as we've always told you, we haven't got no dog in this fight. These Palestinians and these Israelis, none of these people are going to be in the land. And I think the only positive thing that can come out of this for these Palestinians, if they are totally removed from the land, then they won't be there for its destruction. Because the destruction is in the pipeline. Israel is prophesied to be destroyed by nuclear missiles and by the chariots of the Lord, according to Bible prophecy, alongside America, Babylon the Great. So the only positive thing that can come out of this for those Palestinians is that they're not actually in the land when the Lord, Yahushua, and the angels return to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. But as you see from this 3-minute interview, he's asking this devil here, why is it, if he considers the government in Syria, you know, this new government, why are they bombing the government's military? Why are they bombing their weapons and so forth? Why are they bombing their airfields? Why are they land grabbing? Because at the same time, they're also land grabbing, these devils. They got no shame. This is what they are doing. But this is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And like I said, all what they're doing, they're trying to claim as much of Syria as they're possible, because parts of Syria does make up the promised land. And they're trying to force themselves into these prophetic prophecies by what they are doing. Now, the scripture says in the book of, is it John? Chapter 8, verse 44, I believe. Yeah, John 8 and 44. It says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do, as we can see quite clearly. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, Going back to Cain and Abel. Esau has the same spirit as Cain. Because there is no truth in him. There's no truth in these Edomites. None, zero. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, as we just witnessed there. For he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. Because that's all we're doing. We're telling you the truth of who these people truly are and who the head tribe is of these Amalekites. Now, this is something else that they're doing as well. This is their plan here. It says here, Israel strikes Syria 480 times and seizes territory as Netanyahu pledges to change the face of the Middle East. Because this is what they're ultimately going to try to do. By trying to change the face of the Middle East, they're trying to reclaim the 12 tribes of Israel, the original promised land, right? Or should I say, from all the way to the River Euphrates in Iraq to the River Nile in Egypt. Because that's ultimately what they're looking to do, bit by bit. Now, it says here, the collapse of Assad's regime has prompted a punishing military response from Israel. And this is what we see taking place, which has launched airstrikes at military targets across Syria and deployed ground troops both into and beyond a demilitarized buffer zone for the first time in 50 years. The Israeli military on Tuesday said it had carried out 480 strikes across the country over the past 2 days, hitting most of Syria's strategic weapon stockpiles, while Defense Minister of Israel, Katz, said the Israeli Navy had destroyed the Syrian fleet overnight, hailing the operation as a great success. So this is the plan. They have driven themselves further and further into Syria and taken more and more of Syria's land. And at the same time, you've got Israelis. This is something that they was doing during the last war, and this is something that they're doing again. Israelis gather on the hillside to watch and cheer as military drops bombs on Gaza. Now, they was doing this originally 10 years ago. These events were taking place 10 years ago, where people would drink, snack, and pose for selfies against a background of explosions as Palestinians' death tolls mounts in the ongoing offensive. Now, the way how the media is working today, they are suppressing this information today. Now, this information here, just so you know, just as I said to you, this article is more than 10 years old. This took place in 2014. Now, you can imagine the hatred they have for the Palestinians today. Now, if you believe for a second they're not doing these same things again today, except they have such a tight control of the media that they are suppressing this information from coming out. So they were sitting they brought their, on the sidelines of that, they brought their chairs, settees, bottles of beer, binoculars to watch the massacre of the Palestinians. This is why the Lord said that the destruction of Babylon the Great and Israel, the whole world is going to be able to watch it. And we're not going to need the binoculars. We're going to be watching it on TV. Because these people have a lust for watching other people's demise and destruction, as you can see here quite clearly. It says here, Israelis sit on a hill to watch airstrikes on Gaza. Some bring drinks and snacks as they cheer the explosions a few miles away. All right. This is 10 years ago. If you can imagine, because they're doing the same thing today, it's just that the mainstream media is suppressing this information today because they've got such a tight grip on the mainstream media, these small hats. The hatred that they have for the Palestinians today to what they had 10 years ago is probably increased by 1,000-fold. But this is the bloodlust. I'm just trying to show you the bloodlust of these people, these small hats. It says here, as the sun begins to sink over the Mediterranean,